What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and this is a quick follow-up video to the Subtlety and Shadowlands Beta Dungeons video I did earlier this week. I normally wouldn't do one so soon after the other, however something was changed recently in the latest beta build and I wanted to share it with you all. So strap in, because this is going to be a fast one. Okay, so if you don't have a clue about what video I was talking about in the intro, I'll link it up top, but basically it was an overview of how Subtlety feels and performs as of now in the Shadowlands beta. Well, of course, literally the same week I put that video up, Blizzard changes two things that I didn't expect to happen, which resulted in me giving Subtlety another shot in dungeons. I was still using the same setup I had before, which was Mark of the Master Assassin and the Serrated Bone Spike Covenant ability, so I could get an even comparison as possible of the two. I'll also be leaving a pinned comment below for any additional information I have on these changes / bugs or whatever the heck's going on. Okay, so basically the first thing that changed is probably only partially a bug. Remember how I kinda scoffed at the new premeditation talent? Well, it's possible, like maybe sorta possible, Blizzard is working on a new way for this talent to interact with our rotation. As right now on the beta, it's like completely broken. Originally, it only worked when cast from stealth, meaning not from Shadowdance. Well, now it is working in Shadowdance, but it's causing like an infinite slice and dice and you're getting a ton of combo points and it's all wrong. Which is obviously broken, but that means that whatever was changed was most likely intentional to make it work with Shadowdance because it didn't work with it at all before. So we might be seeing a good change in the future, but don't count your eggs until they crack or whatever people say, I don't know. This next part is definitely an intentional change as it was part of the last beta build's patch notes that were data mined. Shadow Vault, our new AOE finishing move, has received a damage bonus, and a pretty big one at that. Basically, if you look at the original tooltip, it showed 3.6% of attack power multiplied to make the formula. Now it is at 7%. That's already really great news because that's literally doubling the damage of it, but it also finally scales with mastery now. That's right, so this very niche 6+ target AoE move is moving up in the DPS charts a lot, and I mean a lot. Granted, it's possible this will get dialed back a little bit, but even if it does, the fact that mastery finally affects this plus all of the other things that can buff its damage equals a very high damaging AoE move. I also decided to try running Shuriken Tornado as a talent with the Master Assassin Legendary, which has already resulted in some really high burst damage. Shuriken Tornado of course has less uptime usage than say Secret Technique, and it isn't very strong for single target like Master of Shadows is. But honestly, it's pretty worth it since our single target is already really good without Master of Shadows, and Shuriken Tornado brings the AoE up to 11, it's crazy. I need to get into some higher keys to really give this build a whirl, but as of now, this is a total 180 from the way Shadow Vault felt literally just a couple days ago. The move still does freeze you in place when you cast it, which is exceptionally annoying and has already caused me a couple unfortunate ends. However, if that is like the risk-reward aspect of this move, then I consider that a pretty fair trade-off. I could see maybe working in more Shadow Strikes for combo point generation. However, with Shuriken Tornado already hitting a wide spread of targets with Find Weakness, it just feels very potent and bursty to spam Shadow Vault in between volleys of Shuriken Tornadoes. Especially with the Master Assassin Legendary, because every volley of Shuriken Tornado is guaranteed to crit, meaning we get all of the Find Weaknesses refreshed, and it does even more damage, so that's just awesome. Our finishers are of course buffed by both versatility and mastery, but for this testing I did a pretty even split of haste and mastery just to see how it would do. Also because in the past, haste was our best stat for single targets, such as with Battle for Azeroth, so I figured that'll probably hold relatively true as of right now until we see some number crunching on stat priorities. Whereas mastery starts to gain an advantage in AoE since we're able to generate so many more combo points, meaning more finishers. To be 100% transparent, I wouldn't be surprised if Shadow Vault did receive a slight nerf, only because with the amount of damage it's doing right now, you basically only need to be hitting 3 targets with it for it to deal more damage than Eviscerate once they, fix the shadow part of the damage that's missing now. Yeah, another really weird thing that happened in the most recent build, because before then, Eviscerate was dealing an extra 50% of damage as Shadow if the target already had Find Weakness active on it. But, it's, vanished. Pun intended. But as a reminder, if you didn't know already, Shadow Vault can hit 8 targets, meaning this AOE finisher will do ridiculous damage on large packs. I'm not trying to hype this change up too much because, again, the damage value is much higher than it was before, meaning I expect a modest reduction in damage to happen to it. Or maybe they won't and we'll be able to have some great burst AOE and great single target. To be entirely fair, Subtlety kinda deserves a little bit of the limelight after 2 years in the dark. I just really hope we don't see a Zool 2.0 as soon as the raid comes out or something like that. Only time will tell, I suppose. I hope you got a laugh out of this really big change in a move that I wasn't a big fan of. I'm still not a huge fan of it, but if it does that much damage, I think I'll get used to it. For all my Outlaw folks out there, don't worry, I have some stuff in store. I just wanted to show this to everybody before I swapped specs again for the videos. I try to give each of them a fair amount of attention, but I am a smidge biased towards my piratical ways. If you're new around here, I'd like to welcome you to check out the rest of the channel. I do new uploads every weekday on a variety of WoW-oriented things, with a healthy portion of rogue-specific stuff. If you already knew all that, you're probably one of my charming regular viewers, subscribers, or even a patron of mine. If so, I just wanted to say I sincerely appreciate your time, and I'll continue to do my best to keep bringing out the content you folks are interested in. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.